Hi, I'm Pigg with Vettec, and you're watching 2 Minutes with Tab. The third and final reason to shoe your horse, prosthetic or a therapeutic application. We've got 3 shoes here we're going to talk about first. Then I've got a couple of shoes on the horse that we're going to go, and I'm going to show you how they fit up and tell you at what point you would need to use one or the other of those shoes. First shoe we're going to talk about today is what we call a navicular shoe. And you'll notice it's kind of oddly shaped. It's flat up here, and it's got a rise back at the heel area. This is your toe, this is your heel, just for reference. So what this shoe is good for is if the horse has got a lot of pressure on its navicular bursa right here, coming from the deep flexor. If the horse is comfortable, he's able to stand flat, okay? If he wants a little relief out of the deep flexor, all he has to do is rock forward a little bit, and it gives him that little bit of relief. So this is a good shoe for navicular type horses that may be sore in the heel. So that's not application that you might think about. This is a bar shoe, straight bar shoe. Forward. This one I would use on like crushed-heeled horses. So you've got one that's crushing under, and we want to move some of that base or that crushing or the weight of the foot over to the other side. That's where you're going to use a bar shoe. This shoe is what we call a lateral extension. This would be on a hind foot. So if I've got a horse, say, that's base narrow behind, and he's got a lot of movement in his hocks are really throwing out hard, put a little bit of a lateral extension on that foot, and you'll see those hocks start to straighten out. On this shoe, you can see how it's a normal width on the inside or the medial side of the foot, and on our lateral or outside heel, it's a lot wider. And that will be sticking out from underneath the foot. This width is to be outside the foot, not inside the foot. So those are the 3 pretty normal shoes that you might see on an everyday basis on some of these horses that need that therapeutic shoeing. We're going to get the horse out, and I'll show you how to fit up a heart bar and an egg bar and why we would use those shoes. So we've got our horse pulled up, and we've got 2 different shoes on this horse, but I'm going to explain why we've done this. The first foot we're going to look at is what we call an egg bar shoe. And you can see pretty much shaped like an egg, so it's appropriately named. And you can see that this shoe fits well outside the foot, especially to the back. We've got a little bit of an extension here. And I'm going to drop this foot down so we can get a side view of this horse, and that will help you understand why we put this shoe on this foot. In this view, you can see how these heels are underrun and pushed forward. If we just put, her foot ends here. So if we just put a normal shoe on this foot, this much of her foot and the whole back of her leg is not supported. So we put this egg bar on to push that weight bearing back and add to the support mechanism up the back of the foot and the back of the leg. So that's the reason you would use an egg bar shoe, is strictly for support of the back of the limb. The next shoe we're going to look at is a heart bar shoe. The heart bars have been criticized or badly mistaken as a detrimental shoe to the foot. These shoes have to be put on by somebody that has done it or been trained to do it. It's not something that just anybody needs to go out and do. Heart bars are good for several different things. Commonly known for foundered or laminitic horses, it supports the frog, which in turn supports the coffin joint and the short pasterns. And if you'll notice, this bar there's the tip of the frog, the horse's frog, but our bar does not come all the way to the end. You have to fit these bars back. If you get out too far, you can cut the blood supply to the foot off. So that's the reason you really need to be trained in how to apply a heart bar before you just jump in there and do it. It's not an easy shoe to fit up, and it's not an easy shoe to get right. You've got to know what you're doing. Besides being a laminitic type of situation, if you've got a horse that's got a crushed heel or a quarter crack, anything that we want to unload one side of the foot or the other, you'll float that or remove that hoof wall, say on this outside heel, put this heart bar. Well, now this has transferred all that weight from this area to this area. So it's a really neat shoe for that type of an application. It's not just for foundered horses. So that ends up our therapeutic application on the horse's foot. Be sure you've got a qualified person applying these therapeutic shoes. It's very important that they're done correctly. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.